Moving to another country is hard, but being alone in a new country is even harder. But don't worry, I got you. Today we're talking about ways to make friends in a new country or a new city. So if you've just moved or you just planning your move, keep on watching. And if you're watching this video, you already know the first way to make friends. Internet. From Instagram to Facebook, from forums to different groups, there are so many platforms to find friends. You can even find like-minded people here in the comments. Just start the conversation. You can follow people on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. And Facebook is actually really powerful for making friends. There are so many groups like Russian-speaking people in Canada, expats in Portugal, French people in Quebec. If you want to connect with people from your country, or for example people from your college, or you want to join a professional community, check Facebook groups. Just type in whatever you're interested in and then city or country name. Chances are there's going to be a group for people like yourself on Facebook. Also, there are a lot of forums and communities with the same names. You can type in the same thing into Google and then you will have all the links, all the forums, and there will be topics where you can discuss whatever you want to discuss. Maybe if you need some help, you can ask questions. That way you can engage in conversations and meet people. And also let's not forget about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is still a social media platform, even though it is made for professional job-related things. If you're looking for a job or you want to connect with people from the same industry, you can try connecting to them on LinkedIn. But don't just randomly connect to people saying, let's be friends. Write an intro when you connect into a person and say, hey, for example, I just moved to Canada. I would really love to connect because you're in the industry, or like you work at my dream company or something else. Just write a quick intro stating why you want to be friends with that person. And one thing to remember, there is nothing wrong with people not responding. That's totally fine. People are busy, they have their own lives, so don't take it personally. If you have a hobby or something that you really like, then you are in luck, my friend, because you can meet people by joining clubs. Whether it's a biking club or a book club, yoga for moms, yoga with puppies, you can always find some kind of a club in a city or a country you move into. For example, when I just moved to Montreal, I would go to professional events like designer events and meet people there. And here in Lisbon, for example, I go to photography events, creative events, and of course, food-related events, because I love food. You can find those groups on platforms like Meetup, Eventbrite, and even on Facebook. If you go to Facebook events, you will definitely find some kind of meetups there too. And of course, Instagram. If you follow people from the same city, most likely you will see them reposting things like, there's this happening or that happening. Or maybe even try to find a page dedicated to the city. For example, in Montreal, we have MTL blog, we have a platform and an Instagram community where you can actually see things happening in the city. If you are into sports, you can always hit your local gym or join a Pilates studio, a biking studio, meet people there. First of all, sports is kind of good for your health. Second of all, you can find people who also care about working out. Maybe you'll meet them, you will, work out together kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure there will be some kind of event happening at the studio, at the gym, so that way you can also talk to those people in case you were shy before. And if you want to go even further, you can join teams, soccer, basketball, volleyball, you name it. For example, here in Lisbon, I know there are a lot of meetups for runners, for ping pong players, for bikers. You can always start there and then talk to people and ask if there are like teams or maybe some kind of competitions or I don't know, something else. But if you don't want to do like all those stuff, there are always book clubs, there are always wine clubs, something for the soul kind of thing. You can join those groups, read a book, drink some wine, and just enjoy your time with new people. One of the great ways to meet people, to make friends, is by going to different events. Again, professional events, fun events, local events. Nowadays, there are so many events for everybody, for designers, for moms, for kids, for like pretty much everyone. And if you want to learn more about the local culture, maybe you can try going to a cultural event. For example, here in Lisbon, every summer there is an Asian event, and my friends and I, we always go there because there's so much cool stuff happening, from performances and dances, national singing, food, Thai massage, gorgeous. You can always go to a professional event and talk to people there. For example, I went to the Web Summit this year and I was waiting for some kind of conversation to start. A person sat next to me And he was like, hey, how are you finding the event? Like, have you seen anything interesting? Blah, blah, blah. You can always do that. I know it's hard. I know it takes time to get used to that small talk kind of thing, but trust me, it will get better with time. If you are a creative person looking for like-minded people, there is a platform called Creative Mornings where they organize events all over the world, and you can find your city and check what's happening there. Normally the events are once a month, and the topics, they're all different, from drawing to crypto to running businesses. So you don't have to be like a designer or something like creative. You can just go there, meet people, get inspired, and listen to other people. And the best type of events to engage with new people is actually by doing workshops or maybe joining some discussion groups. I feel like these smaller settings will give you a chance to engage, participate, discuss, maybe work on something together with the group. And if you have any religious or spiritual affiliation, you can always attend local services, study groups, or other events. Another amazing option to meet new people is by volunteering. This will give you a chance not only interact with the audience, but also with organizers, with other volunteers, creating a natural way to meet people. Volunteering is amazing for many reasons. A, it shows that you are committed to the community you're in. Second of all, if you move to a new country, it's a great way to practice your language. You can learn some new skills, and of course, you can meet people. Volunteering can lead to meaningful connections, especially if you're new to the country, especially if you're going to be looking for a job. For example, when I moved to Canada, I did like 200 hours of volunteering, well, because I was studying events, but still, I did music festivals, I did local events, I did like party planning stuff, Comic-Cons, you name it. Not only I did practice my language and meet new people. One time I volunteered for Canada Day for one of the organizations in Ottawa, and guess what? They invited me to come back and do a paid gig for the same thing. So do not underestimate the power of volunteering and meeting people. And by the way, I have a video about volunteering, make sure to watch it after you finish this one. And of course, you can join a co-working space, for example, if you're working remotely or you just moved to a new country. You can always get a space in a co-working, and that way you can meet other people. If you are a student, you can always go to libraries, to community centers, study there, talk to people, and maybe one day you'll become friends, you'll go grab a coffee, have a study session together kind of thing. I feel like places like co-working spaces and libraries, they're more relaxed, and it's really natural to meet people there. But if you see a person is studying or working, don't be like, hey, excuse me, can we like be friends? No. Just wait for a natural moment to occur. But Yulia, I found the people I like. How do I actually approach them? I got you. First of all, be nice, polite, and authentic. Be yourself and let people get to know you better. Don't try to impress people, just be you. Be who you are. Try small talking. Don't sit there waiting for people to come to you. And honestly, I was one of those people who would like sit there, wait for people to come to me, and then I was like, you know, I went to this event, I didn't meet anybody. But realistically, did I do anything to talk to people? No, so don't be me, please. If you've met some people at an event, you exchanged, for example, I don't know, Instagram or like some contact information, you can always follow up and say, hey, it was nice meeting you. If, for example, you had some topics or something in common, you can say, hey, let's grab a coffee and discuss ABC. Or maybe you see a similar event and be like, hey, we've met at this event, how about we go to that event? Like, you might be interested too. And if you're reaching out to a person that you don't really know online, write an intro and open your account. There is nothing worse than getting a message from a private account saying, hey, let's grab a coffee. Who are you? Like, excuse me, can you like open your account so I can at least see there is a real person behind that account? As for the intros, you can always write, hey, I am this and that. I, for example, moved to Portugal. I also do this. I also like this, kind of pinpoint some common interests, I should say. And then maybe suggest something like, hey, let's grab a coffee one day. But don't be like, hey, let's grab a coffee. Who are you? What's happening? What's going on? So yeah, don't be super random, but also don't send those messages like, hi, how are you? I wanted to ask something. And then it's like 10 different messages. Just write everything in one message. That's really nice. As for me personally, I think I've met most of my friends online, on Instagram, on Twitter. Some people I've met through other friends. Some people I've met in college. So it's honestly, you never know. Sometimes you go to an event, you meet a cool person, and then you're like, oh hey, let's meet up later for coffee or something. Sometimes you follow somebody on Instagram or Twitter and you're like, oh, I would love to be friends with that person. So people are coming from like different ways for me personally, but I think that's how it works in real life. If you're looking for friends, if you're looking for people to connect, be open-minded. Don't be scared, it's gonna be fine. We have all moved to different places, started from scratch basically, and it turned out just fine. If you move into another country, I'm wishing you all the best. I hope everything goes smoothly. I hope you find nice people, make friends, and if you feel lonely, I hope you don't. And as always, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!